Hey everybody, and welcome back to Koi Pond Lifestyle. So what have we got on this week? Right, a bit of an unplanned thing I've got for you this week, because I'm working on a filter adjustment in my filter system. I'll explain where that video comes out, because I was never going to get it ready for this week. So I was filming other stuff around the pond, and I thought, right, I'll release this because lots of other stuff happening in and around the pond. So what we're going today is have some issues in the pond at the moment. With the fish, usual stuff coming out of spring into summer, water temperature changes, ammonia levels all over the place, so feeding is all over the place, and you're kind of managing the situations as they're happening. And I think I may have some issues in the pond, so we're going to have a look at that today with some of the fish. And also, while we're in there helping the fish out to have a look at them, I'm going to show you how I catch fish as well. Somebody mentioned it in the shop the other day when I was down at Steve's at Penkoi, so we're going to have a look at that as well today. Also had a bit of a light bulb moment. Bing! Loads of videos ago when I made some adjustments to my filter system. For example, in the KK1000, when I introduced that, I put that in there, and what I find is that when the pumps are flowing and the water is flowing through the filter system, that it pushes the media up onto the containment system that I placed in there. So for a while now I've been trying loads of different things, put elastic band around it, shape it differently, do this, do that. So I've given it a few ideas, and all of a sudden I was making these. I was basically just doing some videoing for the next adjustment to the filter system, and ping, light bulb went off in my head, because I got a bit of Jap matting left over. When I had my filter system, I had a bit of Jap matting. This little section here, bless it, was left over. So we're going to have a look at that today, because that might help stop this media climbing up. So as the week goes through, there might be other things crop up and catch it with us. So stick around, grab a brew or a pint, or whatever time of day it is and whatever country you're in. I have no idea. And let's crack on with some stuff. Right then. Spotted my shirogoi moping around the last couple of days, and 2 days prior to that as well started to give me a couple of flashings on the bottom. Damn it. So I've left it a few days. Like I've always said, I've always been told don't panic if they start flashing. Could be a number of things, you know. I'd put FOC in, so I've left that for a couple of days longer, and now he's just sitting in the far right hand corner of my pond. Now the last time one of my fish did that, I lost it. My goshki started doing that and he didn't make it, but I don't know why he didn't make it, because we never found out why. So this time I think it's time to act. So I'm going to bring my shirogoi out, put him in a salt bath, and take a scrape at the same time, just to give him a bit of a tonic. See if it'll pep him up a little bit, because he's still hanging around on the bottom. He's usually very sociable, as shirogois usually are, but this time not. So I'd like to say, I've given it a few days. I've not sort of jumped in with both feet and started stressing the fish out because I'm pulling one of them out. But I think it's time to act. So I'm going to react to this now. I've got a bucket of pond water. I'm doing 3 ounces to the gallon of pond water of salt. I'm using cooking salt, not table salt. Apparently you're not supposed to use table salt, it's cooking salt you need to be using. Just mix it up really well, make sure it's completely dissolved, because any high concentration of salt that gets on the fish could burn the fish, I believe. So anyway, that's my prep work. Fingers crossed there's nothing wrong with Sid, and he's just having a bad week, because it's been 5 days now, maybe 6, I think this is the 6th day. Now look at that, I go and say that, and he pops to the surface and grabs a mouthful of food. But I've seen him doing that last couple of days as well. He'll grab that food, he disappears off towards the bottom, and then he spits it out, which again is never a good sign. But let's get him out, give him a salt dip, see what happens. Right, so there's my Shirogoi, Sid. The water, I think the water's gone like this because sometimes they bleed from the gills when they get a bit stressed. And looks like it's got a little bit of stress. You can see a bit of carp pox on him. He's had that carp pox on him throughout the winter, and now the temperatures are coming up. It's already dropped off his other dorsally fin thing. Yeah, he's a pretty good looking fish, and I really hope this one grows. Because again, the Shirogois are supposed to be there to, they're a little bit like the Chagois. Come on, Bear. They're a little bit like the Chagois, to be honest. They're there to calm everything else down and make everything good in your pond. They derive from the same family as the Chagoi. This is the Shirogoi. So I'm going to leave him in here for 15 minutes. So he's starting to, he's sort of struggling with keeping himself upright at the moment. So if he does start to barrel roll, then I'll just get him out and put him straight back in the pond. Did a scrape, couldn't find anything on him. So I think I might just do one more scrape before he goes back in, just in case. Because I don't really like taking him out all the time, and you know, it stresses the fish out as it is, so I'd rather this be a last resort thing. But like I say, he's been doing this for a week now, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a bit of a last resort. This is really the only time I use salt. People ask me if I put salt in the pond or not. No, I don't. I never have done. I don't know whether I ever will. Maybe one day I will. Never say never, do you? But no, I've never put salt in the pond. I've only ever salt dipped the fish like I'm doing with Sid today, as a tonic for the fish. We've got the bear sitting behind me, keeping guard. So we're coming up to 14 minutes now, so I'm going to get him out of here now and put him back into the pond. Well, that's an interesting one. Just dipped Sid, the Shirogoi, and now my Chagois just give it a little bit of a flash. Did 2 scrapes on the Shirogoi, zip, zilch, no, nothing. Not a blooming thing could I find on that scrape. So I don't know. I'm going to hang tight, I'm going to keep an eye on things, see how the fish are getting on. Chagoi has also just spat its food out. First time it's done that. Something's cracking off in that pond, and I don't know what. But again, they're all actively looking for food, and since I've put Sid the Shirogoi back in again, he's now swimming with the rest of the shoal. It could be anything. I really, I'm a bit, I don't know. It could be temperature. Temperature's fluctuating all over the place at the moment. We're sitting at around 14 degrees. 2 days ago it was 12, so that's 2 degrees difference in 2 or 3 days. That could have it do something. There's a lot more ammonia going into the pond at the moment, but I'm doing water changes and making sure that's at its minimum at the moment. pH was a little bit up the other day. That's now come back down because I did a water change and got that back to where it should be. So there could be a number of things. It could be that parasite that I just didn't, maybe I missed after 2 scrapes. A bit surprising we missed after 2, but things happen. So I don't know, keep an eye on that, see what happens. Right, so just while we are talking about getting fish out and scraping fish and whatnot, and while we're here, while I got the net out, is I bumped into a lovely couple in Penkoi the other day. I was in there buying some bits for me project coming up in the next video. Or was it in this one? Oh, I'm losing track of time. Anyway, we were chatting away about Koi Pond Lifestyle, to be honest. Oh look, it's a man from Koi Pond Lifestyle, and they said, yeah, enjoying your videos. I said, yeah, great, thanks very much. I said, the only thing is, the one thing that you pond tubers, or you guys on YouTube, don't show us yet, is how to catch the fish. So we've seen videos on getting the fish already out and you're doing your scrapes and all that kind of stuff, but you're never actually catching them with your net. I was like, okay then. He said, because we've been spending ages trying to catch, we've got a problem with one of their fish apparently, we were trying to get over to Steve. And he said, yeah, we can't catch it. Unbelievable. So I said, okay, I'll just show you how I do mine, and then you can kind of, every day's a school day, you do what you want with that information. So yeah, so for when I'm catching my fish, I haven't got a massive net. I mean, I think as the fish are getting big now, I think might need a bigger net soon, but not yet. So I use my net not to catch the fish, but I use it to corral them into the tub. So I haven't bought one of those expensive blue jobs. I went to bargain basement place and got one of these containers. £9. So I use this to basically just corral them in, which I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you how. Well, we'll go underwater and we'll try to catch one and put it in the bucket. And yeah, this bucket basically I've marked up the different literages as well. So when you're salting a fish or you're putting certain things in with the fish, you know where you are with litres now. At least water got in it. Anyways, so yeah, so basically the top tip for me, and again, comment below if others more experienced than me, is when you're actually in the water, you've got to keep it sideways and you've got to traverse the water so you've got minimum resistance. If you go in like that, you're going to dragging it across the water and the fish is going to be laughing at you. Just bye, because you've got no chance. You'll be like dragging it through the water. So yeah, always go in sideways and try not to go too fast, because you find as soon as you start speeding along with your net and the fish sort of like start, whoa, where's he come from? They'll start legging it, and once you start chasing them, good luck with that. So ideally, you need to kind of go in quite slowly and just traverse around a little bit, pick the fish you want, and then just sort of get your net somewhere near, and then literally follow the fish and try to corner it. If you can get it in a corner somewhere or on the side of a wall, and then as soon as you've got to, then dunk, you put a barrier up in front of it. So all of a sudden then the fish is, hang on, I won't go that way, but I can't now. And then you can just basically guide it and the net into the bowl. And I'll show you this in a sec. We'll go in and I'll show you how it goes. It may be a disaster, or it might be an easy one. I don't know. We'll find out. But I've got one of my fish to just take out now and have a quick look at while we're here. So, but yeah, that's the best way to do it. Traverse with a flat net, and then flick it up. Once you've got to the fish, create a barrier, and then basically just guide the fish to the bowl. Ideally, you could do one of them socks. Those sock things are quite good. If you're moving the fish from one place to another, if you're taking it out your pond and moving it into something, those sock things are quite good. But yeah, this is really just to get it into the tub. £9.99. Bargain place, I don't know what it was called. Right, anyway, let's get this in and I'll show you. Here you guys. Right, the main thing with this is try not to chase the fish around the pond, because the more you chase, the more they run, and then the more you're frustrated you get because you can't catch them. So if you are having to sort of swish the net through the water at some sort of speed to get to the fish, always go sideways. See how we do a sideways run? So when you get to the fish, you kind of slide the net under the fish and then hold it there, let the fish relax, and then literally just using the net to guide the fish, nice and gentle. If you were trying to swim off somewhere, just tilt the net a little bit to create a block, and then it's just a case of blocking and changing and moving and slowly bringing them over in towards the container. Put the container into the water, so as you can see here, slowly into the container. So you're minimizing the stress on the fish, minimizing your frustration as you try to chase them around the pond. But really, it's just practice. So there you go. That was, to be honest, that was probably an easy one. But yeah, you kind of get to know your own fish. You get to know which ones are the fast ones, which are the slow ones, which don't mind you doing it, which do mind you doing it. And they're the ones you've got to kind of get a bit more practice with. So there you go. That's how I take fish out of my pond. Practice. Right then, let's have a look at this little idea, this light bulb moment idea that went off in my head the other day. Scary monsters. But yeah, so as I was saying, the media, and I'll show you in a second, the media travels up the wall of the containment system that I put in, because I had to contain it within a bay to stop it all flooding out into other bays when they turn the pumps off or whatever reason. So because of the changes and or adjustments, because I'm trying not to change too much on my filters, because it's never a good idea to faff around with filters this time of year. You want to keep the beneficial bacteria in there, let it get on growing, stop moving things around and so on. So I'm actually introducing something, not taking something out to, well anyway, you'll see in the next video for that. So as part of the adjustments I was making, I ended up with a spare piece of this, which is just Yamitsu that was in the bay when I first had it. Now this has probably got loads of lovely beneficial bacteria in and around it, which is fantastic news. So I don't want to chuck this away. So the idea is to stop, as I've just shown you a little bit of a close-up there, this media climbing up the wall when the pump is on. So I'm just going to turn the air off now to demonstrate again that because the pump is running, it's moving the media around. Let me turn the pump off. Right, just turn the air off. Now you can see obviously it's just sitting around going nowhere basically. So the idea, the light bulb idea, is to take this and attach it here and see if it holds it back or not. So a bit of an idea, and because it's still underwater, then I'm hoping it will continue to benefit the pond from whatever beneficial bacteria is on that. So I'm going to cable tie it in place, see what happens. Right, we'll see what happens with that. Give it a bit of time. I'll report back. Okay, so it's official. My upside down aquarium, or whatever you wanted to call it, Adam, is now called the Sky Pond. So thanks very much for that, and thanks for everybody taking part in that one. At last we've got it a name to call it. And a big thanks to Kevin from Anglo 5 Graphics, who supplies all my graphics that you see up on the channel there. You can catch him on his Facebook page, Anglo 5 Graphics. And also I've remembered that it's been 3 years, almost to the day of this video being released, from the first time I stuck the first shovel into the ground to build this pond. As you can see from this time-lapse video, I had a pond already. It was like a big horseshoe shaped pond that was just located almost in the middle of the garden. So my wife never liked it, and she's always said, oh, it takes up too much garden, are you going to get rid of it? So the deal was, I'll get rid of that pond, but I'll build myself another pond behind it, out of the way of the garden, and then we'll develop the garden. And this is where we are today. So yeah, 3 years since I first started that eat, sleep, dig, repeat. And for everybody building yourselves ponds out there, and for anybody out there building a pond at the moment, they're at that digging stage, crack on, keep going, eat, dig, sleep, repeat. You'll get it done. And on that bombshell, thanks very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the subscribe, like the video, ding the bell for notifications, share to all your friends. Thanks very much for watching. This was Koi Pond Lifestyle.